Imagine you were watching Dragon Ball Super with no subtitles, and you could understand this.
ゴテン、ちゃんとしねえと修行に集中できねえだろう。お父さん修行してたの？ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろう。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
Let's make it happen. Goten says Otol-san, which is what you call your dad in Japanese. This character here will be our first kanji of the day, but don't worry, it's really easy. Its meaning is father. Can you see this father's thick eyebrows and mustache? How about now? To write it from memory, just write eyebrow, eyebrow, mustache, mustache. Next, we have shugyo, which normally refers to a kind of Buddhist meditation, but in the Dragon Ball universe, this is the word used to mean training. It's a very common word in Dragon Ball, but if you want to talk about physical training like lifting weights in Japanese, just use the word toreining. Shiteta comes from the verb suru, meaning to do. You'll hear the form shiteiru very, very, very commonly in all of Japanese. Now that form means I'm doing, you're doing, she's doing, we're doing, they're doing, but this shiteta form means was or were doing. The no at the end is a common way to ask questions casually in Japanese. When speaking with people that you don't know very well, or in the workplace, no desu ka is the proper form that is used. And when we put it all together, we get, Dad, were you training?
お父さん修行してたの？
お父さん修行してたの？
Here's Goku's lines. Ah is a casual way Japanese people say yes, just like we say yeah in English. Ah is good for close friends and family, but be sure to use hai everywhere else. You're probably already familiar with Majin Buu, but do you know why Majin is written in hiragana and Buu is in katakana? Majin comes from this Japanese word meaning demon person. Buu is just a non-Japanese name, so it is written in katakana. So, Majin Buu. Mecha mecha is extremely. Tsuyokatta comes from tsuyoi meaning strong, and in this form it means was or were strong. Here's our second kanji for today. It's slightly more difficult, but let's look at the pieces. The first piece is a pictogram of a bow. The second piece looks kind of like an elbow, right? Easy enough. Now, the last piece takes a little bit of imagination. It's the kanji for bug, and maybe you can see the two big bug eyes here. The bottom half looks like one of those hairy legs that you might find on one of those nasty crickets. Ech. When the pieces come together, we get a story about archery. In using a bow, you need a strong and steady elbow to hit an insect. That's what makes a strong archer. Daro is a very informal and masculine way to end sentences. It roughly means something like right or don't you think? Desyone is one of the many ways to say daro in polite speech. It can be used by both men and women. And altogether we get something like, yeah, Majin Buu was really strong, right?
お父さん修行してたの？
ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ？
お父さん修行してたの？ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ？
Goku's second line starts with ora, which comes from ore. It's only to be used with close friends and family, and it comes off very brutish and masculine when compared to watashi and boku. Now, if you turn off the English subtitles and watch Dragon Ball long enough, you'll notice that Goku speaks a little different from the rest of the cast. Listen to the line that comes before Goten.
ゴテン、ちゃんとしねえと修行に集中できねえだろう。
Of course, it would be really silly for us to go around Japan speaking like this, and it would be equally silly for an American to complain that they can't understand the British accent. It's the same language with just some small changes. If we try to understand Goku, it might just help us to understand the different ways people talk in Japanese. So he says ora instead of ore a lot. He also says shine in that last line, which is the same as shinai, meaning not do. Finally, you might have heard him say dekine instead of dekinai, meaning can't do. Now, we gotta get back to the original line, but I'll put up the translation and extra vocabulary here if you want to pause and listen to it again.
ゴテン、ちゃんとしねえと修行に集中できねえだろ。
Next, dake means only. Ja is a common filler word like the word well in English. Zenzen is not at all in this case. Kate nakata is from katsu, meaning to win. Kate nai means can't win. And kate nakata makes could not win. Here's the last kanji for the day. Now, the mnemonic story that I use could help you to remember how to read and write it, but it requires a bit of an explanation. So here we go. The first piece does mean moon, but it also means flesh when combined with other pieces to form different kanji. This kanji character means flesh when written by itself, but when used in other characters like stomach and lung, it slowly evolved to look like moon back in the days of ancient China, which is where the Japanese kanji characters come from. So it's flesh plus this piece, which some Japanese students call quarter. It gets its name from this kanji meaning half. Doesn't half look like something being split right down the middle? Well, if we add that extra stroke here, we're splitting the two half pieces to make quarter pieces. The third kanji piece is the kanji for power. Yup, that's pretty much it. So when you combine all three pieces, we get the story of hanged, drawn, and quartered. Back in medieval times, the losing generals and captains had their flesh cut into quarters after some horribly gruesome deaths. This was done as a sign of power by the team who declared victory. I like kanji a lot. It's a lot of fun. Sa comes at the end of this sentence. It's a casual way to show confidence and assertion. And if you wanted to do it in polite speech, desyo is very similar. When roughly translated, all of this means, well, I couldn't win by myself.
お父さん修行してたの？
ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
お父さん修行してたの？ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
Some of that information we went over should be in your short-term memory, but if you hope to remember it in the long term, let's do a few quick practice exercises. They start somewhat easy and get a little harder each time. Our first one is a listening test. See if you can figure out what this means.
俺が勝つ。俺が勝つ。
And the answer is, I win. If you didn't get it right, at least you know what orega katsu means now. Here's the next exercise. Can you tell what is missing from our original dialogue? It was the first word that we covered today. See if you can write the whole word down, including the kanji. And if you can't, hiragana is always good, or even just saying the word aloud. Pause the video if you need to. The correct answer is otou-san. Here comes listening exercise number 2. If someone walked up to you and said this, what would they be asking?
何をしてたの？何をしてたの？何をしてたの？
And they would be asking, what were you doing? Let's keep moving with our second closed question. What's missing from the passage now? Write the kanji and hiragana if you can remember it, or just say it aloud. I'll read it once for those who might need it. お父さん修行してたの？ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃだろ？俺だけじゃ全然勝ってなかったさ。Tsuyokatta is the missing piece. Now it's time for a little shadowing. I invite you to practice speaking aloud the lines that we have just learned. And that's right, I'm asking you to practice sounding like a cartoon country bumpkin, male or female. And I completely understand if you choose not to participate. If you do participate, it'll help you to remember new words when we practice reading, listening, writing, and speaking them. We understand this dialogue is very, very casual, and we've even learned the polite counterparts, so why not have a little fun? Watch, I'll say something really effeminate in Japanese. いいのよ、私も行くわ. There will be a total of 3 times, and each time we will go just a little faster.
お父さん修行してたの？
ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
お父さん修行してたの？
ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
お父さん修行してたの？ああ、魔人ブーめちゃめちゃ強かっただろ。オラだけじゃ全然勝てなかったさ。
If you think you need more practice, why not try this Japanese short stories audiobook? You can get it for free if you sign up for Audio's 30-day free trial. Check the description below for a link to that book. And with that, I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.